Mean Streak. Written by Faith MS. Read for you by Charcoal Bits. Part 1 of the Where Spite Can Bring You series. Summary. I think it's important for people to set boundaries and stick to them. Izuku walks into the classroom, dreading the day already while he nervously fiddles with his backpack straps. The adults would always say that boys will be boys and the other kids will be more mature and better in algebra. But seeing as those adults were the ones ignoring it in the first place, and that there's a vase of spider lilies on Izuku's desk right now, he doesn't much believe them. Which brings him back to the point. There are set lines for everything. Izuku can handle a lot of things. He doesn't mind the teasing, and the name-calling, and the occasional tripping, and the stolen property, or the vandalization, or the not having any getting off track. But suicide baiting? No. That is a line. I think it's important for people to set boundaries and stick to them. Izuku walks into the classroom, dreading the day already while he nervously fiddles with his backpack straps. The adults would always say that boys will be boys, and the other kids will be more mature and better at algebra. But seeing as those adults were the ones ignoring him in the first place, and that there's a vase of spider lilies sitting on Izuku's desk right now, he doesn't much believe them. Which brings him back to the point. There are set lines for everything. Izuku can handle a lot of things. He doesn't mind the teasing, and the name-calling, and the occasional tripping, and the stolen property, or the vandalization, or not having any getting off track. But suicide baiting? No. That is a line. And the thing about boundaries is that people will push them, and if they succeed once, they will push them for more. And considering Izuku doesn't have much left to give, he decided that if he doesn't do anything now, it will definitely only get worse. Brightening his face into a smile that the rest of the students haven't seen in a few years, Izuku confidently walks towards his desk, drops his bag under his desk, and starts making a flower crown out of the spider lilies. Leaning back into his chair and looking around out of the corner of his eye. It looks like it was Izumi-kun with his color-changing hair, and Aurora-kun with their faster-than-average growing hair and nails, considering they're the ones who look mildly frustrated that it didn't get a reaction out of me. And as he finishes the flower crown, having no friends really gives you extra time to put practice into random skills to perfection. He puts it on and wears it proudly. He looks back at Izumi-kun and Oroka-kun with a satisfied smirk and just an edge of barely concealed anger hidden in the twitch of his eyes. They, of course, don't understand the predicament they're in. Izuku does not think it will take long for them to find out. The teacher walks in to start preparing for the bell to ring, and of course ignores his existence, and of course the existence of the obvious spider lilies, literally telling him to kill himself. He can see the perpetrators relax as the teacher says nothing. Then Kato walks in and starts to automatically snarl, and Izuku sees him begin his normal ritual from primary school of yelling Deku and some other insults, but Izuku decides to change it up today. No reason to gain more offenders than required for today. So he interrupts Kachan for once with a nice, simple, "Good morning, Katsuki." Kachan's minute anger for being interrupted completely stutters to a stop, and if anyone looked closely, they could see a hint of a flinch. He quickly looks around and spots the flower crown made of spider lilies and relaxes, because he had no part of it and therefore is not going to be completely destroyed. Because while the rest of the class knows nothing about what is to come, the Bakugou'S and Midoriyas were close growing up, and Kachan's heard the stories. If a Midoriya ever stops using the stupid as hell cutesy nicknames, then whoever is the reason should run for as long as they can before they get killed. And if anyone gets in their way, there is only hell to pay. With a "Good morning, Izuku," Katsuki sits down as calmly as he can. You could hear a pin drop in the silence of the classroom. He won't do anything to help either side, but he knows full well when to get the fuck out of the way. Izuku looks back slowly at his future victims with a wicked smile and a calculating gaze, and as he watches them look at each other in confusion and squirms a little under his watchful eye. The teacher, in normal teacher fashion, completely ignores the tension in the classroom from the quirkless kid smiling to the star pupil being nice for once, and starts the monotone lesson for the day. Everyone follows Bakugou's lead and doesn't bother him for the day. Izuku's prey get more and more nervous as time goes by. Izuku only smiles. When the bell rings for the end of the day, Izuku picks up his bag and with casual gait walks to the back of the right of the classroom to the two fools. Everyone leaves and it's just the three of them. Izuku's hands on the shoulders of each of them. They are sitting, so he leans down between them and says very clearly, "I'm going to kill myself tonight. Your names will be on the suicide note and I will add evidence. The school may not care, but the media is another story. They love a good story, they can be vultures too, and I'm going to give it to them." Izuku stands up with grace and walks to the door. Izumi-kun, what a brave soul, stands up on shaky legs and says, "You really wouldn't do that just to get back at us." Okuda-kun just stares in fear. Whether that be for him, them instigating a suicide, or just having consequences taken against them has yet to be seen. Have fun in prison while I have fun in the grave. Izuku says in farewell with a bright smile on his face and a friendly wave. As soon as he's out of the classroom, his face drops into a blank face. The walk home is uneventful and quick. He has work to do. Mom comes home hours later and starts to make dinner. She cheerily calls him out of his room to eat at the table and shuffles to prepare the table. Without looking at him, "Izuku, honey, how was the first day of school? Better than primary?" "Tomorrow I'm going to be homesick. Do not answer any calls from the Izume or Okuda family, mother." "Not mom, only mother today." Inko does not stutter. She does, however, look at her son knowingly. She gets it. "Sounds like a plan. Anything else I can do to help, love?" "Do you have 2 manila foilers? And I'm going to need the printer tomorrow once I finish typing up everything." "There's an unopened pack in the closet. Remember, no fingerprints." "Of course, mother." Throughout the night, Izuku barely sleeps and Inko knows better than to interrupt. She's had her own days of spite-fueled evidence gathering. Izuku just keeps typing. After work, she comes home to report she got many phone calls from both families when school was over. She did not answer. He thanks her with a quick smile and continues to type. Eventually, around 2 a.m, Izuku finished putting all the printed out papers into their proper manila folders. Gloves on, of course, and decides to go to sleep after setting his alarm with a vindictive smile on his face. He wakes up with a calmer smile. Walking into the classroom, Izuku's the last one there. Looking at his desk, he sees a picture frame of himself and some more flowers. These ones are much nicer. Due to his extensive research, he knows Okuda-kun's older brother owns a flower shop. Walking to the back of the class, the 2 pale-faced students he made believe were the reason he was dead. He pauses in front of Izumi-kun's desk and hands him a folder. "This is not the only copy. Someone asked me to hand you this." Izuku hands him the folder with a deadpan voice, making it very clear who this somebody is. He then looks at Okuda-kun, who looks at him with some relief in his eyes, even as they reach out for the folder with trepidation. Izuku looks at him, his desk with the flowers, and then softens his eyes. "Thank you for the flowers, Okuda-kun. I know they don't come cheap, even with the family discount." He walks back to his desk and hands the Okuda folder and his gloves to Kachan. "Katsuki, can you do me a favor and destroy these?" Kachan scoffs, but explodes them to dust. "Thank you, Kachan." "Whatever, nerd." But as you can see him finally intense in a way that you couldn't tell unless you studied someone for years to every minuscule detail. Everyone turns to Izumi-kun when he starts crying and trembling in fear while looking inside his family folder to see every single bad thing and weakness of every person in his family back generations. Everyone looks on in either confusion or fear as Izuku just starts to hum and make a new flower crown with his new flowers. Gladius, meaning remembrance. Purple hyacinth, meaning sorrow and regret. Chives, meaning usefulness. Nobody put spider lilies on his desk ever again. I know I said that I wasn't going to do any other fics until I finished, if we're being honest. But I also happen to be a liar. But for real, this was kind of just sitting in my KindMaster unfinished. And I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then I realized that it was there today. And I was like, oh, why don't I do this? It's a pretty short fic. I mean, it is. It's only like 9 minutes long. It's just the recording of the fic, not including my end little rambling spiel. But yeah, hope you enjoyed this, and see you all next time. Bye-bye. Drink water, eat something. Coffee does not count on a meal. See you guys later. Bye.